In today's video, we're going to be checking a fuel pump sending unit that controls the fuel gauge, lets you know how much fuel is in your tank. Happens to be a Ford pump. I guess this type of pump, it's the F150, and there's a lot of different style pumps like this, but they all work the same. All right. If you're having a problem like a P0460 or P0463, erratic fuel gauge, or it's showing no fuel when you know you have fuel in the tank, chances are it's this sensor that's connected to the fuel pump. I'm going to show you what it looks like and what it does so you get a better idea on how to test it. So what we have, this is a new one, okay? Now, assuming, see, this is like a float. So when you fill up the gas, this moves. And basically, it's supposed to have about 180 ohms when it's low and about 10 ohms when it's totally full. And see, if I move this as if there's fuel going into the tank, you see it's starting to go down as the fuel goes up. And if you have one of these, then it's giving you a problem. It should, see how it's going nice and down smooth? It's not jumping. It's not going like from 40, then go up to 50, or as you're going up. It's going smooth, counting down. All the way to the gauge is full, which would be around 10 ohms. And the same thing as it goes. And that's what controls the fuel gauge. This is a rheostat, it's called, not a potentiometer. A potentiometer has 3 wires or more, usually like a mass airflow sensor, we use a potentiometer. This is called a rheostat. It's like basically the stereo. You have a stereo, you turn the knob to make the volume louder. That's a rheostat, all right? So that's the same thing. It can be calculated either way. It could be calculated going up, high voltage, high ohms, or going low, high ohms. It doesn't really matter. It should just how the manufacturer and the design of the product is. All right? So if you're looking at this pump on a Ford, you have the clip here that you can unclip to take the plug out. You're going to have 4. Let me take this off so you can see it. You see that? You have 4 prongs. Now, on the left-hand side, those 2 on the left-hand side are for the sending unit. The other 2 are for the fuel pump motor. Okay, that's down in here. So those are the 2 you want to check. Now, if you're diagnosing this in the car and you can get a hold of the wiring diagram that goes to that sending unit, all right, and you want to make sure that it's not the cluster, I'm going to show how to do the cluster, but that's another video. What you can do is try to tap in to the plug. Like I said, you're going to have to fire the wiring diagram, whatever colors they are. You can't go by these colors, all right, of the particular model of the truck, particular year. And what you're going to want to do is shake the truck, jump up and down with gas in the truck, and this should move a little, you know. It should go like that. It's not hooked up right now, but if it was hooked up, you're going to see. All right, let me hook it up. Show you. I hooked it up to those 2 wires on the far left. And let's say you have them, you know, you're probing them from the harness that's underneath the truck, right? And you want to make sure you jump up and down in the tank, on the truck, I'm sorry, and the tank and the fuel in the tank should slosh around and go like this, and you should see something like that, right? Now, the gauge on the instrument cluster is gonna compensate for that. Gauge doesn't go like this so fast. It goes very slow. It does that on purpose, so the you know, not like the old cars when you go up and down, the gauge will go, the fuel gauge will go like that. But it could give you an idea. In other words, let's say, forget about the gauge. You have these hooked up to the wire harness. You jump up and down on the truck a little bit. You slosh it around. If it doesn't move, see, that's not considered moving. That's just a resistance. It's still at 179. If it doesn't do something like this, you see how it jumped to 173, or see how it does that? You know. Let's say if it does that, then you know probably that the sensor is okay. Probably. It could have a dead spot in the middle. It all depends on the symptoms you were having. Let's say if you had a half a tank, and all of a sudden, as you get to a half a tank from a full tank, it drops to 0. That's probably the sensor. That's not a wire. I mean, there could be a wiring problem if it's old. A lot of times they get a film on it from the additives in the gas. People say you can put these special cleaners in there, Chevron or whatever. I don't want to call whatever. But, you know, I've been doing this for 35 to 40 years. It does not work. None of that stuff works. All right? It's all wishful thinking. No miracle in a can. Same thing with my head gasket video. You want to check that one out. All right? See how the results on that. And that's how you check this. Okay? So you got your fuel pump. This is the fuel. Comes in through here. Pumps out through here. I'm sorry. And this is the return. So it's a little basic system. It's all plastic. And that's just, you know, I just wanted to give you an idea of what's moving your gauge inside the truck. Now you know. It's this little rheostat. 2-wire rheostat. All right, guys. Motor Car Nut. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. I got tons of videos coming on all aspects of automotive. The channel's only getting bigger, 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 and bigger. So it's going to become more valuable. And I need you guys to subscribe and hit that like. Thank you, guys. Bye.